All right, let's work through the Unit 1 test review. All right, use the diagram to decide whether the statement is true or false. So number 1, point A lies on line M. All right. Here's line M. Point A lies on line M. Point A here, that's true. Point A lies on line M. All right, line M, little cursive M. Number 2, point D lies on line N. Point D. Here's D, line N. Line N runs up and down. So remember that the dotted part of the line implies that this is underneath, the part that you can't see. We see D does not lie on line N. Line N does not. It's false. All right. Points B, C, E, and Q are coplanar. So B, C, E, and Q are coplanar, meaning they're all in the same plane. That's not true because Q is not on the plane. Q is on the line that is coming out of the plane. So Q is not on the plane, therefore these points are not coplanar. This is false. All right. Points C, E, and B are collinear. C, E, and B. C, E, and B. Our definition of collinear says that points that are all in the same line. They're all in the same line. They're not. This is false. They're not collinear. Number 5. Another name for plane G is plane EAB. So let's see. E, A, and B. Could this be a name for plane G? No, because A, E, and B are all in the same line. So a plane definitely needs 3 letters, 3 points, but they cannot be in the same line. They cannot. So this one's false. It is not a name. All right, use the diagram above to find and name the following. So a pair of opposite rays. Opposite rays are lines that have an endpoint, one endpoint, and go a direction through another point. An opposite. Rays would be rays that go in opposite directions. So there's 2. There's ray EB, ray EB. Its opposite ray would be EA. E being the endpoint in the direction of A. So here is an opposite ray. EB, EA. Another one would be ED, ray ED, and EC, ray EC. So opposite rays have the endpoint and they go in opposite directions. ED, EC, EB, EA. Those are the only two. All right, number 7, a segment. So there are a ton of segments that we can use. So there's EA, and you can use the reverse of these also. AE, segment EA, segment AE, and really any one of these. Here's a segment, and its reverse. Actually, that's a Q. That's Q. EB, BE, ED, and DE. Now there are other segments also. You could do AB, BA, CD, DC. Actually, let's just write them down. So you can have AB, BA, DC, and CD. Those are the other two. So these are all the segments that you can have. All right, number 8, a line. Got a couple lines. So we have, starting off, line in. Notice how I'm writing line in, line M, line L. Now, I could use any of the segments that I just listed, but we would have to use the line symbol. But all the line segments that we just listed in number 7, you could use any of those, but you have to use the line symbol with the arrows on both sides. I'm not going to label them all. The big thing here is if you're going to use line N, M, or L, you got to write the word line. You have to write the word line. All right, a plane. Definition of a plane. We need 3 non-collinear points. So EAD, plane AED, and any combination of those 3, CEA, or EBC, BED, and any combination. as long as the 3 points aren't on the same line. So notice you can't use CED and you can't use BEA. And there's also plane G. Plane G. All right, find the indicated length. Find HJ if J is the midpoint. So midpoint, that means something very specific. That means that J exactly cuts HK in half. I know it doesn't look like it, but you never trust the picture. You always trust the math, trust the terminology, trust what they're telling us. So I know that these two things are equal. I know it, or congruent rather. These are congruent. So I can set these two values equal to each other and solve for x. I'm setting them equal to each other because I know that they're congruent. Because it tells us that it's the midpoint. (13 minus 3 is 10x. I'm going to add 42 to both sides. I'm going to divide by 10. Okay, here we have x is equal, what is this? Four point two. X is equal to 4.2. So I need to take this number and plug it back in for x. Because I want to find HJ. HJ is this segment right here. So x plugged in here should be 4.2 times 3. Three times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. 12.6. All right. HJ is 12.6. All right, find BC. BC is this segment right here. All right, this is classic postulate stuff, right? We have two things being added together, and it equals the whole. So, 3x plus 2x minus 2, right? This piece plus this piece should equal the whole piece. Combining like terms, 5x minus 2 dividing both sides by 15. So this is going to cancel out. It's going to reduce rather. 5 goes into 24. 5 goes into 5 once. So x is equal to 4. We'll plug x into this term this time. So 2, which is basically 8 minus 2. So BC is equal to 6. This one's not bad. But you're going to see this. This piece plus this piece equals the whole thing. Classic postulate stuff. All right, number 12. This is a warm-up question that we had a while back. What is the coordinate of a point that is 2/3 the distance from -1 to 8 on a number line? So here's -1, here's 8. I know 0 is going to be here. So this distance, this total distance from 0 to 8 is 8. From 0 to -1 is 1, right? 1 unit. So 1 unit plus 8 units is 9 units. I know that for a fact. That's 9 units. However, we're looking for the coordinate of a point that is 2/3 the distance from -1 to 8. So I need to split 9 units into thirds. So it's going to be 3. So -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. So 3 units, right? So here's a third. That's 1/3. That's 2/3. So the coordinate for the point is going to be 5, right? Because that's 2/3. Here's a third, right? From here to here is a third. 1, 2, 3. From here to here is another third. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3. So it's split into thirds. It's 2/3 from -1 to 8. So starting at -1, I'm going to go 2/3 of the way to 8. So the coordinate would be 5. All right, write out the 4 postulates from A1 notes. I'm not going to write this one out. I'll let you look it up in your notes. You got to pull out your notes and write the 4 postulates for A1 notes. On the test, you won't need to write them out, but you'll have to be able to recall what they say. All right, use the diagram to answer the following questions. Here we go. Here's the diagram. Classify angle GHJ as acute, obtuse, right, or straight. So GHJ. GHJ. Okay. It's obtuse. It's bigger than 90, but less than 180. It's obtuse. All right, number 15. If ray HL is an angle bisector, so HL if that's an angle bisector of KHJ, so K, H, and J, find the value of X. So it tells us angle bisector. That's a very specific word. That means that it's cutting the angle into 2 congruent parts. Bisector, 2 congruent parts. If the parts are congruent, that means their values are equal to each other. So They're equal to each other, 4x plus 7. So 8x minus 1 is equal to 4x plus 7. Solve for x. Minus 4x, minus 4x. I'm going to add 1, add 1. So it's going to cancel, make 4x is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 2. Do we need to plug it back into anything? No. The value of x is 2. All right. Classify each angle pair as a linear pair, vertical angle, or neither. So number 16, angles 1 and 3. Angles 1 and 3. Here's 1, here's 3. They're not a linear pair because a linear pair would make a straight line. They're vertical because they're across from each other. They're vertical. Well, going back to 16, 1 and 3 are vertical, 2 and 4 would be vertical as well. They're across from each other. Now we're looking at 2 and 3. So 2 and 3. 2 and 3 make a straight line. Right? Their non-common side, right? Their non-common side, this side is common to 3 but not 2. This side is common to 2 but not 3. So their non-common side is an opposite ray. In other words, when you add them together, they make a straight line. They're definitely a linear pair. This is a linear pair. They make 180 degrees. One and 4 would be the other linear pair. 1 and 2 are linear pairs, and 3 and 4 are linear pairs. All right, the measure of an angle is 64 degrees. What is its complement? What is the measure of its supplement? So here, we know some measure is 64 degrees of some angle. Complement, that means 90. You gotta think 90 when you hear the word complement. So it's gonna be 90 minus whatever that angle is. 90 minus 64. So it looks like 26. The supplement, you gotta think 180. 180. 180 minus 64. So that looks like, what? 116? Let's go back real quick. So, if this had been something else, say x, then the complement of x is 90 minus x. The supplement would have been 180 minus x. So a lot of people missed this on the last quiz. If this is something ugly, like 2x minus 2, well, then the complement of 2x minus 2 is going to be 90 minus whatever that is. You have to distribute Negative and negative makes a positive. So this is going to be 92 minus 2x. That's the complement. The supplement would be the exact same thing, just minus 180. Distribute. If you see something like this is how it's done. The complement, it's always 90 minus whatever they give you. Doesn't matter if they give you a whole number or they give you an expression. Supplement is going to be 180. All right, use a diagram to answer the following questions. If the measure of angle PTQ equals 3y minus 10, so PTQ. 3y minus 10. And the measure of QTR is y. Find the value of y so that PTR, this guy here, is a right angle, meaning 90 degrees, right? 90 degrees is a right angle. So we're going to add these two things together and set it equal to 90, right? This angle plus that angle should equal the whole angle. (3y minus 10) plus, because we're adding them together, y equals 90. Combining like terms, 4y minus 10 plus 10. This is going to be 4y equals 100 degrees. Divide both sides by 4. Y is equal to 25. It's not a degree. It's not a degree. It's just a value. 25 is just a value. $25 is just a value. Well, technically, y would be 25 degrees. So yeah, I guess you could say y is 25 degrees. All right, what else we got? If the measure of PTQ is 2x minus 3, so PTQ, the red one, 2x minus 3, QTR, the blue one, 4x minus 9, and RTS, okay, RTS, that's this guy over here. RTS is this guy. 7x plus 10. Find PTR. PTR. Which one is that one? That's this one. We gotta solve for x. We gotta figure out what x is. So the thing that jumps out at me is that I have a straight line. I know that a straight line is equal to 180 degrees. So I'm going to add up all three of these to make 180. 2x minus 3 plus 4x minus 9 plus 7x plus 10 equals 180. Right, this is a straight line. Straight lines are equal to 180 degrees. Combined like terms, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13x. Numbers, we got -3 and -9, 10, 11, 12. So -12 plus 10, -2, is equal to 180. Add 2 is going to be 13x is equal to 182. That's ugly. Divide both sides by 13. Okay, let's say long division. So 13 4? Yep. So 14, x is equal to 14. But we're looking for PTR, this angle right here. So we do 2 times 14 minus 3 plus this guy, 4, 14 minus 9. What does that equal? So 14 twice, 28 minus 3. 14 4 times, 56 minus 9. Combining like terms even more. So this is going to be, what is this? 28 minus 3 is 25. 56 minus 9 is going to be 47. So this is going to, in the end, be what? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry the 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. 72 degrees. PTR is 72 degrees. And that's it. That's the review. If you're confused on anything, go back, try to work through it again. It's all about learning what the words mean, particularly when it comes to bisect and midpoint. I think understanding what bisect and midpoint means, if you can understand what they mean and apply it, you can get through the problem as long as you do it correctly. All right, good luck.